these weeks we should just have one of us sing it.
Yeah. Hey, what's going on, KBKL? It is time for the podcast Week 10 review and some other stuff, I guess. Nothing really happens after this week. So, I'm your host, CJ Cobra Kai, along with my co-host, Ben Hutnick, fresh from vacation.
Yeah, I did. I just flew in from Florida, and since I didn't go to any or see any of the games this week, I'm just going to insult Free State the entire podcast.
You got a nice tan as well.
Yeah, thank you, buddy.
All right.
Some of us have to work at it.
Jason Cougar Huang.
Today's election day, so I think we should vote that no one be allowed to put ketchup on their hot dogs.
Okay.
Stupid.
Okay. And I think the third time they're going to be on this season is going to be Seth, the Sanchez.
Fuck Chris Kobach.
Well put.
Noted.
Yeah. We are coming to you live from the Jazz House, 926 and a half Massachusetts. Come on down every Tuesday. You only got like 3 left after this one. So come on down. $250, almost anything. We definitely take advantage of that. And buckle up because it's going to be a long one tonight.
Yeah, it's a long one. You have time to come down.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have a sponsor this week. We don't have any league housekeeping.
Well, we've got one thing.
Okay.
So this week we're sponsored by Ben Was on Vacation.
All right.
Good
cause.
Yeah, the big housekeeping thing is that we really need like 16 volunteers for the play-in games that start at 3:30.
They're all going to be at YSC.
Yep. So we can have full rep crews for those games. And I think we just barely made it last year. We might have been short 1 or 2 or something like that. But if you're going to be up and not working and want to get some sun and limber up a little bit, come help us out and rep.
Yeah, definitely. If you have a 6:30 game, it would help.
Yeah.
Or if you have a 5 and you just feel like being out there.
Yeah.
Either one, just please show up and volunteer. Okay, so at last game of the week, we had Phil do kick the can. He did not do so well.
No.
Did not win. That was about it.
Is it just
Lawrence Shirt Factory gave out some koozies and T-shirts, which was pretty cool.
nice?
Yeah, and there was
Geezers threw out Jello shots that were not actually Jello; they were just liquid.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that happened earlier this season
everywhere.
too. I think there might be some kind of need to freeze them longer or something
they
like
not
that.
put
I don't know.
chill them long enough.
I don't know what happened,
or
but it was a shit show out there.
That's why That's why you just throw out bottles of stuff.
What happened, Bryson?
Defend the honor of your Jello
We didn't
shots.
have a cooler was the problem. They were frozen at one point. They were literally frozen at one point. And
have a
then
cooler.
come
This
seventh
Made
inning,
it even more fun to throw.
and then come seventh inning, they were no longer frozen. So.
Well, it's like a nice analogy for the game.
Congealed.
When you guys
Come on, congealed.
Yeah.
Jello shots and the team fell apart.
All right, so let's talk about some games.
Let's do.
Shall we? Let me find my sheet. All right, here we go. Week 10, August 5th, YSC 1, Jackpot 27 versus Chalmers 10.
Pretty big spread there.
Yeah. It got called due to a run rule after 7, I believe.
That's pretty unusual.
Yeah, we were down 9-8 heading into the 5th inning. And, yeah, it
Just reeled off 20 runs or something like that.
Yeah, we finally got music. Like, someone actually let us use their speaker, and we started playing music, and so that was kind of our
That's your spinach.
yeah, pretty
21
much.
runs?
It, like, just helped us out.
I know that's the second time you've run ruled somebody in the ones, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's kind of unheard of.
Yeah, I think that's the third time that I know of that it's happened. So
right?
the 2 this year, and then when I played for Sun Creations, we run ruled Sacred Sword in the ones. But I mean, this game was called, I think, by the refs.
Yeah.
We didn't necessarily know that it got called.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm not sure why.
I got to come out and watch this game. The wind blowing straight out to right field at YSC 1 was brutal.
God,
there were some really good players out in right field, like Colin or Subaru or whoever you guys had out there.
Colin collided with is it Zach? Brittany Feller's brother?
Their center fielder, I'm not sure what his name is.
Yeah, they collided, and I think Colin got the wind knocked out of him, and I think his arm was a little messed up too, so it definitely affected his throwing ability and where they played him the rest of the game, because I think they had him out in left after that. Subaru was playing out in right, and they didn't adjust at all for the wind. I know we definitely did. We put Richard as kind of a short rover out there. I know Riley kicked a stand-up triple right down the line. It was one of the
that was beautiful.
one of the prettiest kicks I've ever seen.
Was that right field?
Down the right field.
Oh, wow.
Down the right field line.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Stand-up triple, too.
Stand up. Wow.
I think she ended up getting an RK out of that. Hillary had a ball kicked right at her feet, and she just kind of popped it up into the air. Josh caught it and then was able to double up a player that had stepped off at first. So that was a pretty wild way to get a double play. I mean, after the first couple of innings where our defense definitely was affected by the wind, we kind of settled down and played a lot better. So yeah, that's about it. Okay, YSC 1, 7 p.m. Hertz Donut, D-Holes, 16, John Denver Experience, 10.
D-Hole's locking down that top finish.
Alex, you want to
Here's
come up
Alex.
and talk?
Oh, there he is. He just walked in. Yeah, I was like, where's
All right,
Alex?
yeah. Is there anyone from JDE here?
Probably not.
Okay.
I haven't seen anybody from JDE show up all season. This was a great game. JDE had a little bit of control going up until the fourth inning. I think they were up 6-2 or 6-3 on us, and then we had a inning where we just caught fire, and everything fired for us.
Let me tell you, Ethan was on fire that game, man.
Yeah.
He kicked really, really well. I repped a little bit of this game, so that's definitely something that I noticed, that he was just...
He's been kicking really well all year from what I've seen.
Yeah. He's been getting on base. Sam's been doing really well also. Steven, our new guy, our leadoff, he's been doing fantastic. Even though he doesn't always get on base, because every now and then he'll just do a sacrifice, or he'll try and lure the defense out to spread him out a little bit on him. He's been doing fantastic also. The ladies played very, very solidly and very, very well. But yeah, we were able to lock it down. That's it. We got in their head. Yeah, we got in their head. They started collapsing and throwing the ball around too. So that didn't help for them. Yeah, it was great for us. But
9-1 and swept the fives, man. Congratulations.
That's swept the twos.
I'm sorry.
Thinking about my own team.
Is that your guys' best finish?
It is officially our best finish. We've been doing a lot of 2 and 3 or 3 and 2s in the twos for the last several years.
Okay. Nice.
But yeah, officially best finish ever. So.
Cool. Word. Nowhere to go but down.
Yep.
I got to watch the first 5 innings of this game, and I honestly thought at one point that JDE was going to kind of blow it open, but I think it was like the 4th inning. The ball got kicked to Avery, and there was only the person up to kick, and he went to 2 thinking someone was on 1 with 2 outs, and then I think they scored like 5 runs after that.
I forgot about
with
that.
2 outs, and
that's what Avery said.
the game just kind of got blown out from there. I mean, they could have put him away. It was an easy out at first base, and he just kind of jogged to second base, and then he was like, "Oh shit!"
Oh,
and
my God.
the game really fell apart from there.
Yeah.
Nice Bryson.
Yep. YSC2, 5 p.m. Kicking Assets, 14. Woost, 7. Anyone see this game?
That'll be Marisa. Fresh off the plane, Florida as well.
She did not see this game.
No.
No, that's right. She didn't see anything. I forgot.
She got info, though.
The wind on this game was blowing straight in on this field, so everything was pretty
Yeah,
tight.
YSC, 2 and 3.
Yeah.
The wind was blowing in.
Yeah.
1 and 4, wind was blowing out.
Yep.
Go ahead.
So basically what I heard was there was just awesome defense mixed with some consistency on the offense. We were really moving the runners around the bases a lot better than we have been. And then Jimmy actually got a home run and a triple, so that's pretty good. And then the first baseman, Isaac, and our third baseman, Aaron, they were making really good plays. And I think we got the first 3 people out. Their first 3 kickers in the first inning, so it was just good job.
Good showing.
Thanks.
Thanks, Marisa.
YSC2, 7 p.m. We don't need to talk about this game. It's just Free State. Free State Growlers, 9. Asteroid Head, 8.
God, I can't
10
believe
innings?
Free State only won by 1.
Yeah, 10 innings.
10
yeah.
innings?
10 innings, yeah. We didn't start until like 7:15, 7:20. So
Yeah, it's 'cause
if
the
it was
game
was
went
good
long,
that
right?
this game
Yeah.
ended in 10, because if it went 11, we would not have been able to see because the lights didn't turn on. Asteroid Head, I don't know how they're 2-8. They're so much better than a 2-8 team.
Yeah.
They're too inconsistent, man.
Yeah, well, they were on this game. They were catching everything, and we heard that they didn't bunt a whole lot, and we always play bunt block. So we actually went to a 4-person outfielder, and we moved one of our ladies, Lindsay, out to outfield. She played right field and had probably 5 or 6 catches. So she was definitely MVP for us. Asteroid Head, I wouldn't want to play them in the playoffs. That's for sure. I mean, they can kick the ball with anybody.
They've always been that kind of team. Well,
Yeah.
the past few years anyway.
Yeah, I mean, they're becoming my new, button grind?
Uh-huh.
Where, like, I have higher expectations than they actually put
Right.
out. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good showing.
Yeah.
Or it's just that Free State sucks. So it's one or the other.
All right.
You needed that extra inning and everything. Come on, man.
We needed it, yeah.
Maybe, Ben, you're hoping they get one inning more tired. That's your hope.
Yeah.
One extra innings.
YSC 3, 5 p.m. Brewballers 13, Grandstand Glass Kickers 5. The streak ends for Grandstand. Unfortunately. Yeah. Does anyone?
And then Grandstand Quasi called me out on
right,
Facebook
Kristen.
for calling this game.
Unfortunately, it started off strong. I think we were pretty matched up to like the 4th inning, and then McCrae's home run kind of rallied them, and we couldn't move people around. They tightened their defense really down, and we just couldn't. We could get people on and couldn't get them around. So, unfortunately, the didn't go the way we wanted it. But they did well and just kind of outplayed us. That's one.
Okay.
Y'all
All
still
right.
guilt
Thanks, Kristen.
tripped me on Facebook, too.
That was Kevin.
That was Kevin, I know.
I'm the good angel. He's the bad angel. So anything that we do bad is Kevin.
Yeah.
Anything good, I'll take the credit for.
It is Kevin, yeah.
Yeah, except for when he hits triples, I'll try to take the credit for that too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Kristen still won titles this weekend at the fair.
Oh, right.
She won big awards at the fair.
What did she win?
All
What did
right.
she win?
What'd she win
did
for? What'd you win for?
Hay bale throwing contest.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Hey.
Nice.
We can incorporate that into the end of the season party. We can raise some money to see who can throw 30-pound bales of straw
Just
in the air.
add it into a skills competition at the championship weekend.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Who
Carnival.
can throw an the farthest?
I'm in.
All right.
There you go.
YSC 3, 7 p.m. Lucky Berry 4, Screamers 1. Derek.
The
You wanna
birthday
come
twin
talk
getting
about
a
your team?
bowl. On their birthday.
Yeah, the birthday twins.
On their birthday.
It was a really low scoring game. Was this a wind-in thing too? Is that why the score was so low?
Yeah, it looks like
yes,
it. Because it was a
Going back to Kristen's game, what you guys had on your field blown out, they had in their face coming in, and it was terrible at the
All
5
in their
o'clock
face?
game. All in their face. It wasn't as bad on the 7 o'clock game. It died actually down pretty quick around the 7th inning.
Yeah.
And that's 6
Yeah,
innings
the
somewhere.
7 o'clock games, the wind definitely died down. It was ridiculous for the 5 o'clock games.
But it was still just enough where it was, for our offense, the top of our lineup did nothing but produce outs for like 5 innings. And the wind finally settled down, and we kind of fell into a groove, and, we eked a win out
Got
of it.
enough?
Yeah.
All right. Chelsea?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was tied at 1 until like the 6th inning or whenever the wind died down. But they just played better defense, so they kicked better. That's pretty much it. It was fun.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Happy belated birthday, guys. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
YSC 4, 5 p.m. Johnny's Tavern 19, Jazz House 15, which coincidentally is the number of wins Johnny's has in their 3 years of existence during rank play. So
Timothy.
Seth was very close on calling the final score for this one, if I'm right.
Yeah. It was a 4, and they called 3.
Yeah.
So Rick, you go first.
There you go.
Keep it clean.
Yeah.
Keep your clothes on.
All right. It was a awesome game. Really, really fun. One of the funnest games I've ever had in my life in kickball. Super close. The teams were competitive but very amiable. There was just enough trash talking to make it really fun. Tim and my catcher Fred were pretty much at it from the get-go, and it was fine. It was fun. And like I was talking to Tim, it's like, as long as you if you dish it out, we'll just be able to take it, and then everything's fine.
Yeah.
And they were both dishing it out and taking it, and it was great. And they were like challenging each other. They were kicking at each other, and it was hilarious. Super great game. The officiating was not well.
Good.
Let me go ahead and say
I'll go say for you, it was not good. So
let me say this. There was an NCAA basketball coach years ago. I think it was Mo Iba, but I'm not positive. And after a game with kind of rugged officiating, a reporter asked him and said, "Boy, there were a lot of close calls in that game. Not many of them went your way. Do you have anything to say about that?" And he said, "No, I'm not allowed to comment on the referees. The NCAA won't let me comment on terrible officiating." And he was promptly fined $20,000.
To be fair, it was a tough one to officiate. The full slide into home, when a ton of dirt gets kicked up, that's probably, other than a first base call, that's probably the hardest call there is.
Yeah, especially when your home plate umpire is leaning against the fence.
Well, yeah.
And then when he was told more than once that maybe he ought to get out in front of the play, but that was just a bridge too far. The one call that did prove painful more than others was there was a call at third, and the third base ref and the home plate ref both called him out. And so we trotted off the ball diamond. We're in the dugout. My batter's walking up. Johnny's yelling, "Bobble, bobble, bobble." Everybody loves to yell "bobble," right? And so they reversed the call when we're already in the dugout. And so we had to come back out on the dugout. So instead of no runs that inning, we've got bases loaded, and then Shane hit a ground rule triple. Oh, it was Ian. I'm sorry. Yeah, Ian hit the ground rule triple. But it was a great game. It was really fun. We had a blast. As far as officiating, one more thing that was really funny, they were completely stuck, did not know the rules. I walked out, Austin walked out, and we completely cooperated and got the right call and made it happen. So it was great, and I hope we see him again this year.
All right.
I really couldn't say it better.
Many few words, Tim.
Sorry, a bit verbose there, yeah.
Thanks, Rick.
All right.
thanks, Rick. Thanks, Tim. Thank you.
YSC 4, 7 p.m. Leafy Greens 3, Sacred Sword 30, dropping the hammer.
Oh,
nice. Anyone see this game or ref it?
No.
I refed it, and I'll make up for my last thing. The score tells it all.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
That's kind of is that our Hey Fuck winner?
It's got to be.
Yeah,
Yep.
it has to be.
Congratulations,
Jackpot
Sacred Sword.
qualifies just because of the run rule, but
Yeah.
the spread on that one's obnoxious.
Yeah, that one, yeah. That one's got to be the winner.
By the way, on a sword note, sorry, first time ever Leafy Greens history, they finished winless in the regular season. So
Ah,
Yeah.
that sucks.
hopefully get better in the tournament, guys. Leafy Greens, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Holcomb Wright, 5 p.m. Muddy Water Studio 9, River City Matadores 6.
Closer game.
Yeah.
That's a good showing by the Mets.
Yeah.
Also, I would imagine the wind played a role in this one at least because of the fact that it was at Holcomb Wright, so that means the wind would have been blowing in. So yeah.
That makes sense.
Anyone see this game? Ref it?
Nobody.
All right, that
Okay.
sucks. I would have liked to heard something about this game, but
Good.
unfortunately, that does not happen sometimes.
Yeah, you can't always get intel on the teams you might have to play. You're
Yeah,
just going to have to take a pass on this one.
I've already played Muddy Waters.
No, oh, yeah, that's right.
Holcomb Wright, 7 p.m. Rockets, 11. Liberty Hall late fees, 8. Anyone see this one?
No.
All right.
That's actually pretty good by fees, though, based on the
Yeah.
prior results.
Yeah.
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 All right. Holcomb left, 5 p.m. Drop Stoppers, 6. Rats, 14. Anyone see this one?
I bet T did. I also bet he's not going to come talk about it.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
T, please.
No.
Thomas, were you repping this game? Is Thomas in here? Probably.
I remember probably.
All right. All right.
It looks like there was a shitload of home runs.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, opposite problem. So wind out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would have been wind out.
Yeah, it was Holcomb left, and there's a shitload of wind. Austin, I think, had 2 home runs.
Wow.
I think there were 6 or 7 total.
Wow. Jeez.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
2 or 3 over the fence, and then a handful of in the park. Just because the wind's blowing out, you can't reel it in fast enough to do anything.
Yeah.
And Rats have a bunch of speedy players.
All right.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Well, go ahead and stay right there because we're going to talk about your game next. Holcomb left, 7 p.m. Bunt and Grind, 9.
Grunt and Bind.
Grunt and Bind.
Yeah, Grunt and Bind. Yeah.
Weird.
New team.
Yeah.
Reboot X 11.
We had a really good game. Jade had a fantastic game, who's our first-year KVKL player.
Nice.
She was 2 for 2. I had her split kicking, but she scored 2 runs, which made the difference in the game. One of them was second to home. The other was first to home. One of our other new guys kicked a triple and crushed the shit out of it. And Ballin Grind's good. They've got a lot of fast players and smart players, and I think we just outplayed them. I think it was tied 8-8 in the 6th or 7th inning, if I recall. And we ended up we had a bunch of 2-out rallies, and those last 3 2 runs were both on 2 outs.
All right.
Just fixing defense.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thanks, Tom.
Welcome.
Lions East, 5 p.m. Red Legs 6, Ladybird Harpies 11. Stacy, come on up.
We need you, Stacy.
What's this?
Hi.
Hi.
Hello, Stacy.
What's up?
Yeah.
Hi,
So-
Stacy.
So yeah, we played and we won. It was a lot of fun. We played well, and it was 3-0 in like the second inning, and then they scored 3, so they tied it up, and then we scored 3, and then they scored 3, and then we scored 5, and then they didn't score again, or something like that. It was really close, but yeah.
So that's
Good game.
2 wins in a row, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? Got your confidence
And-
back
Oh,
going
yeah.
into the playoffs?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is it the best ever finish?
It's got to be.
Yeah,
gotta be,
that-
probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
You guys were in the 3s last year, so this
Oh
has,
yeah,
this
yeah,
has
yeah,
to be
yeah.
the best.
I think we're one above. Last year we were 12, and this year we're 11. So
Okay.
Nice.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Thanks, Stacy.
It'll all make itself apparent here soon. Lions East, 7 p.m. Kansas Tree Care 8, Love Garden Squids 2. I know I saw Noah here. Noah, get up here.
Mr. McKee.
It's just another yeoman hold the other team to next to nothing effort
Yeah,
by KGC.
2 runs by Love
This
Garden.
is crazy. Yeah, Love Garden had already set the single season record for most runs scored coming into this game.
190.
They needed 10.
The records
yeah.
have been kept.
Yeah,
Yes.
since 2012.
Yeah.
They needed 10 to score 200, and they got 2. That's pretty good.
How'd you do, Noah?
Well, obviously, like a lot of other games, the wind was a factor. Pretty much took away right field, so it was, I don't know, it's kind of an infield game. There were 2 runs. I think Zeke, I don't know, I was not familiar with him. He blasted one about 20 feet over my head. But other than that, I don't think I even got an out, so it was a very weird game. No action until one guy just fucking lays
Bombed
into
it.
one. But I don't know. I think Janae was the most clutch. She came up, I don't know, you guys have the innings, but I think it was like 5th inning, bases loaded, 2 out. She gets a 2 RBI single, and then in the 7th, I think 2nd and 3rd, 2 out, and she gets another RBI. So
Nice.
There you go.
All
just
right,
having
way
her,
to go.
yeah, she was the MVP in my book. We had a few base running errors that were, I don't know, Kenny trying to take second when he has no business, but that's what he does. So just let him do his thing.
Being
They're not
overly aggressive,
yeah,
Kenny.
They're not all going to work out, but just let him do his
yeah.
thing.
But most of the time they do.
Yeah. But, other than that, I think it was, yeah.
All right.
All right, word.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Noah.
Noah.
Lions West, 5 p.m. Ghosts 16. Repetition coffee, repetition. They had 7.
I ref this game.
All right, go ahead, Coog.
Let me say this real quick. Ghost, you got to provide better balls. Come on. You had 2 popped balls because you guys kicked to get eggy balls. So, no, you're the one that provide crappy balls.
Stop
Why
it.
you have crappy balls?
It
Come
was
on.
really windy in that 5 o'clock game on Lions.
It was.
It
Going
wasn't
to
as
right
windy
field.
at 7 o'clock. So
It
why'd
wasn't,
you
you're
drop
right.
all those balls, huh?
No, you guys had awful balls.
What did the wind have to do with the balls, though?
Yeah, I know.
That's
Why
what
do you
I'm
guys pop
wondering,
them? Why do you guys pop them?
Well,
That's like a free state
that's
excuse.
what he said.
I'm just getting trolled this entire time.
No, we played really well. Mike's here in the stands, but he never wants to talk, so obviously it's going to be me. Every running spot
He's a
in our
worker.
lineup except for 2 scored. At least 1 run.
Yeah.
Nice.
Which is amazing.
This is one of your guys' best showings of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, we were really, really proud of ourselves. Everybody played really well, especially after a little bit of a lull in the middle of the season where...
Well, I was going to say that's 2 in a row for you guys as well, right?
Yeah.
Heading into,
yeah. So, as Bill Self says, we're playing the right ball at the right time.
Yeah, exactly.
So, we're excited. I think we're really excited that we will be playing who we're going to be playing because I know that. So, it's going to be a fun, hopefully, next 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks for us. So.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Katie. Lions West, 7 p.m. Corksuckers, 15. Nick Lerner's homies, 4. Coog.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, let me just say this: Corksuckers on paper were the better team.
Okay.
So, and
I mean, we all kind of knew that.
Yeah, we all knew that. Yeah, but you know,
they were the better team off paper also.
Yeah, that's nice. They kicked well. Ari, basically on base all but one time. It was a table setter. So did Clint for Corksuckers. Milnings, they kicked the gaps in between our outfielders. So good job there. We couldn't get anyone on base. Our table setters like Tori and Hauber couldn't get on base enough. And
God, that guy sucks.
Shut up. Stop.
It's terrible.
So
His
I know.
Long hair and
long
beard
hair and all that.
and muscles.
I will say this real quick. As a PSA, because Rick talked about his game against Johnny. It wasn't ref very well. Let me put a message to everyone. If you guys are going to provide refs, especially later in the season, week 10, please provide your best refs there. Because one particular ref who shall remain nameless, that ref stunk. Let's just say it there. Because what happened was a ball was Tony for our team kicked the ball right in the line on left field over third base, right in the line. Hit the chalk. He called a foul. Yelled a foul. So it was dead ball. Yeah. Grant, lucky next kick, he got on base first. And then that was in the first inning. Then the third inning, Corksuckers, they kicked the ball to left field to hit the line. At first, the third base ref basically pointed foul, but then pointed fair. But he didn't yell foul. So that was another one. Like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, you got to make a call.
You got to make the call there. At least he didn't yell. And another one was testy because it was a pop fly to shortstop. Ariel for Corksuckers caught it, and it was bobbled, and Rashad tagged it from third, and I thought it was safe, and then they had to converge with all the refs there. And I don't think if the right question was asked to the third base ref whether he left early or not, which it wasn't, I think he would have known. So, bottom line, if you provide a ref, especially for the playoffs, please provide your best refs, not just rotate and say, oh, who hasn't refed yet? Oh, it's you, and all that.
I think you should name the person.
What's that?
I think you should name the person. I'm also wondering if each team is supposed to provide the 2 best refs for their games, then what other 2 players on your team are you going to provide?
I mean, Jeez. I don't know how each team. Some teams they rotate like each week a different person each and every time. With my team, it's either myself and 2 other guys ref, Rashad or Jeff, and that's it. Because I know that those 2 will be there not only on time, will do a good job and pay attention. May not be perfect, but at least they'll be attentive and so forth.
Yeah, attention's important.
Yeah, other teams that rotate like every team has to member as a ref. I don't like that rule. I don't like how that's done because there's no consistency as far as who's going to do a good job.
Yeah.
So, but regardless, we didn't lose the game because of the refs. Corksuckers deserve to win. It's just PSA to everyone. Please provide good refs. If you can't ref, well, don't. That's all.
Cougars Rant Corner is over now, so we'll move on to Hobbs Park, 7 p.m.
Sorry.
Red Lion 20, Poshwash 7.
Red Lion got their offense back all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Red Lion.
All it took was for you to leave town.
We scored 18 against
Ladybird.
Yeah, it's been working for a couple weeks now.
Poshwash just can't play at 7 o'clock at Hobbs. That's 0 for 2 this year.
Obviously, yeah. That's true.
Tell me what happened.
Well, kickball happened on Sunday. My only goal for myself this week was to kick it to right field like I can do and drop it over the first baseman's head and have you not catch it, and you weren't there. So I was like, yeah, I can do it. No, some other fucker was in right field and caught my goddamn ball and got a double play at first.
Who was it? Who's playing right?
New guy on your team, Brian.
Brian? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So he did
Massey
good.
was gone too.
Yeah, Massey was gone. Jared didn't play. He was hurt. So you guys were missing people. My team was missing people, and you guys just came ahead with better players when you're playing short.
And Nick Lerner got hurt in this game, didn't he?
He still played. He played the whole game. He's
I think
nursing
he's
an
just been
injury
kinda
for games.
gimpy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Vaughn slid like 4 times, but I think my team
Without his
outslid
shirt
you.
on or with?
With his shirt on.
Okay.
But my team definitely outslid you. I think we took home half the dirt at Hobbs in our short. We just didn't get the calls we wanted on the slides, trying to get back to the bases. Big shout out to my girl Morgan and my guy Garrett, who got 1 home run in the park and scored 2 RKIs on that. Otherwise, it would have been, if he hadn't gotten that, you guys would have won the 3-way tie.
Okay.
So that was towards the end of the game and gave us a little boost.
I was looking at that afterwards, how close that ended up being.
Not as close a game as we had hoped for, but we'll see you again.
Yeah, in the end, it
All
didn't
right.
make much of a difference at all in the seeding. So.
I think I saw Nevervy here. Chris.
Yeah, Chris is here. So is Aaron.
Chris. Oh, and Hensley.
Hensley,
You
anyone
guys want
wants
to
to
come
talk?
talk about the game?
Not
Okay.
really? Okay.
That was a shrug.
All right.
Chris
Figured
speaks,
I'd ask.
Yeah, Chris speaks on the field and yells at the refs.
Yeah. All right. Hobbs Park, 9 p.m. Game of the week. Geezers, Good Neighbors, 7. Lawrence Shirt Factory, 10. Bryson, talk about why you lost.
I want to start this off, Cougar. I already knew you were a great man and a great gentleman, but what you did consoling Mike in center field is classless. I mean, that is amazing.
Yeah, dude.
thank you.
In all honesty,
Good job, Cougar.
I wish I would have been there because I owed him some consoling. But I think a majority of people were there. I think everyone knows what happened. It doesn't need to be talked about. But I was happy. I mean, I wanted to win, and it was obvious I wanted to win. And I came ready to play, and I think a lot of my team came ready to play, which is all I can ask for. But I want to touch on something else, and that's a lot of people's comments towards my attitude. My team plays for my team, whole art noting who they're playing with. And everyone wanted to win a championship. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are 3 teams who are clearly better than us, and that's it. And if you ask any team that's ever competing for anything, if only 3 teams in their way is stopping them from wanting to win it, they're never going to tell you that. And the way I lead is I'm a rah-rah guy. I compare myself to Baker Mayfield. That's how I lead, and my team rallies behind it. I mean, and everyone's like, oh, you're down on your players. I guarantee you, if in the top of the 9th of the championship on the line, and Cullen goes round in second base for no reason and gets a second out, I bet CJ's going to yell at him the same way I yell at players. So it's the same idea, the same ideology.
And real quick, I saw that play as well. Yeah, in the 9th inning with a 10-7, no outs, and inexplicably for what reason, trying to go first to second to third. And from the stand, I was like, "What the hell are you doing?" And he was dead meat there. And after I saw you throw your hat into the stands there. I'm in some stage classes. You know, I probably do the same thing because you're down 3, you're no outs. Why are you trying to stretch to 2 to 3? No, I get it. I get it. And some people won't get it, and whatever. That's every person's different. With you, I get it. You're down 3, no outs. Why are you trying to stretch from second to third? There's no gain in doing that. You can't make those mistakes, especially a team in the top 3 like Lawrence Shirt Factory. Because basically, use your neighbor, you have to play the perfect game.
In those kinds of situations, you can't make mistakes.
Yeah, and I agree. And that's the thing is, I mean, there's a difference. I mean, if you can't do something, I'm not going to get mad at you for it. But, I mean, Dakota's one of our best base runners, one of the fastest guys on our team. And you all saw what he did at catcher, except for the one, and he got pulled. I mean, he's one of the best players on our team. And you do something like that, you're going to lose games like that.
Right.
And I push my players. I mean, I want to be the best. And the only way to be the best is push each other.
You should send Dakota to Cougars coaching clinic.
Coaching clinic, oh, God.
Best thing I saw was after that out at home when you guys were in the field, and you're milling around
my double play.
Yeah, you're milling around home plate, and then instead of going back to your dugout, you decide to take a little lap through the entire Happy Shirt team and fist pump your way. I was like, holy shit! I can't believe he just did that.
Yeah,
that was ballsy.
Yeah, and one thing I knew. I mean, everyone knows how Tyler, is that his name? Their shortstop.
Yeah. Tyler.
Yeah.
Tyler,
Everyone knows how he is in terms of his attitude, and I watched him play a couple times, and I wanted to show him that I can have more attitude than him. And I would like to say, I think you said he's a big-time player, come up in big-time games. Dude went 1 for 5. So that's kind of my take on
He
that.
admitted he didn't play well.
And the only reason he got on base was because he bunted on Mike, and Mike does not play catcher. So the dude's not that good.
Not that good? All right. You say that. Bryson.
Said all that nice stuff and then. But I love it.
Well, it was very complimentary of the team,
yeah,
minus
yeah,
one player.
Yeah.
Bryson.
All right. So with that, I guess we'll move on to a discussion question submitted by Seth.
Yeah, I guess it pretty much dovetails with the game that we just talked about. It was, how do you feel about moving defensive players and changing defensive alignments in the middle of an inning? So personally for our team, we always play bunt block. This time around, we went 4 outfielders, right? And that's based on our opponent. I know CJ's team. You moved Richard out into short right field this week because of the wind, right? But the most extreme example was Geezers, where Bryson's moving around, basically batter by batter. He's repositioning himself.
No. We've definitely done batter by batter too.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that we talk about before the game, that we know we're going to do this when a certain player comes up. But I have no problem with it whatsoever, as long as everyone knows what's going on.
As long as everyone knows what's going on and everyone's comfortable. I mean, there's no worse thing than putting somebody in a position that they're uncomfortable with.
Yeah.
Just because you think that you are going to outsmart your opponent.
Because your job as kind of a coach is to put players in a position where they will succeed.
Absolutely.
And if you don't tell them exactly what they're supposed to do in that situation, you're setting up to fail.
Because you've definitely started to see a lot more of that in the past couple seasons with bunt block out to outfield, moving around. But Bryson, I mean, you played 7 different positions in Game of the Week. I don't know.
Well, I'd like to say, I got that from watching Jackpot. I think I've watched Jackpot play like 5 times this season, and I don't remember who you guys did it against, but you did it against somebody. I feel like you moved a girl off of somewhere and moved a girl to the outfield or something, moved a guy on infield somewhere. I don't remember who it was against, but basically we practice every Thursday, and we've been practicing. Jacqueline, who normally plays shortstop for us, she can catch the ball if it's thrown at her. So it's basically a situation of if there's a runner on first and second, I'm going to put myself, or even on third, put myself at shortstop so I can make a play at home. Because if
there was a time where I kind of disagreed with what you were doing. You were playing short. You had a lady at first. The person got on, and then you didn't shift back to first when you could have just put the lady back at shortstop and get the play at second.
Yeah, I agree. I think we might have overdone it a little bit, but I was basically just trying to cover on the fact that I didn't want any more runs getting scored. I knew where we were at in our lineup,
I get that part of it.
And I was just trying to minimize runs scored. There's honestly, at first base, I think you're probably, I will admit, you're better at fielding at first base than I am. And first base, if you can catch the ball when it's thrown at you, that's really all you need to do. And mind you, the better players can do more than that. And it's basically to the point that no girl's ever thrown anybody out at home. Even the best girls aren't doing that. So it was basically, I just want to put myself in a position to be able to make
Sometimes, one other thing that I would say, sometimes it gets tough. You plan all this stuff out all week, but then you're under the lights at Hobbs and you're like, okay, shit, and maybe you forget to switch yourself back or something like that. The game just gets moving quickly, and sometimes it might be a detriment. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. Well, normally, too, I normally actually don't leave first base. We normally put Jacqueline in left field, and our left fielder, who couldn't make it, he's a strength and conditioning intern for KU football, whatever. He normally plays shortstop. He has a cannon. But basically, we just try to make it work with me because I have a decent arm.
Yeah. All right, cool.
I've noticed D-Hole's doing some of that. I think at Megan's behest, they seem to be making more mid-game defensive switches than they had, kind of situationally.
Just like with any team, you kind of adjust to what the other team is trying to do. Like you see a person who you don't normally run a bunt block, they're beating you up the first baseline. You're gonna hopefully you figure something out. And most likely you would put a bunt block there. So
we intentionally put people in positions where they're uncomfortable and then just pump them full of alcohol until they get comfortable.
It's worked.
Absolutely.
All right. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and announce the matchups.
Yeah, go for it.
Yep. All right. So the round 1 play-in games, they're going to go on at 3:30. Just a reminder, if you or someone else you know wants to volunteer to ref, who do they get a hold of?
Anybody on the board.
Okay. Anybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Me, I guess, would be good because I'm going to be out there reffing. But those kids that have to play the play-in games have a tough road at home, man. They got to play at 3:30. Then they have to play. They either have to play at 5 or ref at 5, and then play again at 6:30, and then the late games too. So they have to play triple headers basically.
I think they changed it this year.
Oh. The losers of those
the
first round
losers,
games
yeah.
won't, but anybody that wins
The
is going to
winner,
end up
yeah,
playing
yeah.
3.
Yeah.
Anybody that wins at 3:30 is going to play 3 games.
Okay, so this one's going to be at 3:30 YSC 1. The 32 seeded Rockets will take on the 33 seed Brew Ballers. Okay, that should be. I mean, obviously, all of these are going to be relatively good matchups. Playing game number 2, 3:30 YSC 3. 31 seeded Asteroid Head versus 34 seeded Grandstand. Same time, YSC 7, 30. Nick Lerner's Homies versus 35 Liberty Hall Late Fees.
Homies.
Yeah.
Rematch.
Yeah.
Yep.
YSC 5, number 29 Sacred Sword versus Leafy Greens. Sacred Sword should probably win that one. So we'll start at the bottom of the bracket. If you're following along at home. So we have 5 p.m. YSC 8.
Are you starting at the bottom just so you can say your name last? All right. Just making sure. Just making sure.
Just so we're all clear.
Okay.
The number 11 seeded Ladybird Harpies versus the 22 seeded Goose. That's going to be a YSC 8.
That'd be a fun one.
Yeah. YSC 7, number 6 seeded Geezers Good Neighbors versus Lucky Berry. 6:30 YSC 8, number 14 seeded Rats versus 19 seeded Woost.
Rematch.
Yeah.
Rematch, yeah.
Yeah.
Upset by
6:30
yeah.
YSC 7, 3 seeded Kansas Tree Care versus the winner of playing game number 3, which is going to be Nick Lerner's Homies or Liberty Hall. YSC 4, 5 p.m. Number 10 seeded Red Lion versus 23 seeded Free State. Wow,
Grudge
y'all. That's going to be a fun
Hold them
one.
back. Hold them back.
Yeah,
Hold them back.
they're fighting, y'all. They're fighting. 5 p.m. YSC 3, 7 seeded D-Holes versus 26 seeded Repetition Copy. Repetition. 6:30 YSC 4, number 15 seeded Kicking Assets versus number 18 seeded Drop Stoppers. YSC 3, 6:30, number 2 seeded Lawrence Shirt Factory versus the winner of playing game number 2, which is going to be either Asteroid Head or Grandstand. YSC 6, 6:30, number 12 seeded Muddy Waters versus number 21 seeded Reboot X. 6:30 YSC 5, 5 seeded Chalmers versus 28 seeded Screamers. 5 p.m. YSC 6, number 13 seeded Redlegs versus number 20 Jazz House. Upset alert.
That could be really interesting.
Yeah. Huh?
That could be a really interesting game.
Yeah. 5 p.m. YSC 5, Love Garden versus the playing game of number 4, which is either going to be Sacred Sword or Leafy Greens.
That would be less interesting.
Yeah, definitely so. 6:30 YSC 2, number 9 seeded Poshwash versus the 24 seeded Corksuckers. 6:30 YSC 1, number 8 John Denver Experience versus number 25 Button Grind. YSC 2, 5 p.m. Number 16 seeded Los Matadores versus number 17 Johnny's Tavern. That's going to be a barn burner. And at 5 p.m. YSC 1, number 1 seeded Jackpot versus the winner of the playing game number 1, which is either going to be the Rockets or the Brew Ballers.
I think I'm taking Rockets in that game against Jackpot.
Yeah, Phil's going to win. Phil's going to kick in the game-winning run.
That's right.
So yeah, that is the bracket, y'all. So
digest. Maybe have
digest.
Yeah.
Grab a beer or two.
After dinner mint.
Go take a pee.
Get your voice
Because
ready to yell.
we are gonna get going in about 10 minutes with Cougar After Dark.
Hold on.
Cougar's got to get the latex suit on first.
Seth the Sanchez.
Hey, Ben, you can just go back on vacation if you want.
Jason Cougar Huang.
Go Relish.
All right, Ben Hutnick.
It's not like they need me against you anyway.
I laid that one up for you.
I'm your host, CJ Cobra Kai. We'll see you in like 10. Bye, guys.
What's up, buddy? Yeah, I think that might just be a type though. I'll double check it.